Have you heard what it says? You are going to give it to me for better or for worse. What does it mean? It means that you have to give this to me, whether you do it willingly or unwillingly. It means you do it and you suffer. Yes, that rule is also on the throne of God. How so? Let's see. As a believer, God gives me many things: health, money, a house, everything. A lot of respect on the street, a lot of fame, a good reputation. God demands that you sacrifice all these things on the path of God, whether for good or for bad. What does it mean? The same as God did to the prophet Abraham. "O Abraham, you are going to sacrifice your son." What does it mean? On the path of God. To reach God, you have to sacrifice what you love from material things, one by one, on the path of God, whether for good or for bad. What does for good mean? To give alms. Giving alms is difficult because you work hard, earning that little bit of money, and now you are going to give it to a poor person. It costs, but that's part of the good. If you don't do it for the good, God will make you do it for the bad. What's happening to you? Alms, alms, what does it say? When a person gives alms, may God protect them for every alms of 70 calamities. A person who invests that money for their parents, for the mosque, for an Islamic class, if they pay religiously, whatever it may be, it costs on the path of God. You help your little brother who needs all those things that are family ties, helping families, serving your parents, serving your wife and your children. When you spend that money, it means you are sacrificing what you love, which is the money in the path of God. In return, God gives you 2,000, saying that you have done good, so there is no need for more calamities. This person is going to have a long life, continuous health, and God will protect them from other calamities. But if this does not happen to you, if you are not voluntarily going to sacrifice what you have in terms of health, if you have physical health, spend it on the path of God, serving others by sweating, straining your body in the service of others. When you, as a woman, cook at home, you suffer. If you are making that sacrifice, a woman who becomes pregnant suffers, works hard, and endures pain. It means you have chosen voluntary calamity. That is how we title it. If you have indeed chosen calamity by truly voluntarily losing your money, what have you really lost? In giving alms, in helping a poor person, in assisting a class, in supporting a mosque, in helping your parents, you have voluntarily accepted a calamity for yourself. So, this protects you from other calamity. God says, look, he has received his message. He has learned his lesson. He has already received his spiritual training. There is no need for me to impose another calamity on him. 2,000. God is not going to impose another one on you. And you will see that person will not have as many illnesses, will not suffer as much, and will not experience as many losses. However, in return, there are people who claim to be believers, but these voluntary actions, which are all commendable, are not equally mandatory. Note that many of the things we have mentioned, such as lipaga, almsgiving, helping a mosque, and supporting an Islamic class, are all commendable actions. This means that they should be done voluntarily. If you don't do it, this voluntary act, for good, God will impose it on you through something bad. The very money that you should spend on the poor, on your neighbor, on work, at the mosque, and for the Islamic community, you have not spent for good. God places a calamity upon you, and you have to do it for the bad. What you have not paid for Imam Hussein, you have to pay for medicine and for illness. The same as saying, you should make this expense. If you haven't done it for the good, then you have to make that sacrifice for the bad. So that money you have to spend on the doctor, for medication, for suffering, for the hospital, to repair your car, for a car accident, for an earthquake, for a storm. Is it 2,000 already? It means that if you haven't done it for the good, God will make it happen for the bad. So you decide. There are people who think they will be stingy and will win. It's a lie. This expense is definitely yours. It means it is part of your predestination. It means that this year you have to spend that $100. It is not yours. It is not for your sustenance. Either you will do it for good, which are voluntary paths, on the way of God, or God will make you lose that same amount or double that amount. Because when you do it for the good, God says, I prevent you. I shield you from 70 types of calamities. This means that every good deed is worth 70 times more. If you don't do it for the good, God will impose it on you for the bad. And so you have to spend. There are many people who have a lot of money. When you have more money, that responsibility increases. And the sacrifice you must make with your money also increases. If you don't do it for the good, suddenly God will impose it on you for the bad. So decide, for the good or for the bad. That's it. Well, these classes are also another part that you can voluntarily do for the good. Give until the Malikum.